Let's see what they say about snakes according to, and I know I've said we're going to do a lot of things, but we'll get to all of them. Snakes according to the Chinese zodiac. Wisdom, charm, elegance, and transformation. Okay. So we can come back to this if we have time to write some riddles. Might have to look up how to write a good riddle. But riddles are like jokes, but you have to kind of guess what the thing is. Right? How do you really set up a riddle? It's the format of a riddle. So famous Black people who worked on lanterns. Now, I searched this differently before, but we'll see if the same thing comes up. Yeah. Nope, this is not the way I searched it before. So what I'm finding here is just that lanterns were significant during the Underground Railroad, symbolism of hope. This is all AI. But let me go ahead and look at the screenshot that I took before when I was searching this. All right, so it was Michael C. Harvey. Michael C. Harvey. Michael C. Harvey lantern, woo! All right, now of course I have to see if I can find a book on archive. Michael C. Harvey lanterns. Ooh, see, the lanterns help you see. Not hardly, but hardly. There's nothing. There's something about X-Men here. Michael C. Harvey isn't bringing up anything, but we'll just check out Wikipedia for this, right? So Michael C. Harvey, also known as MC Harvey, was an American inventor. He is known for inventing an improvement in the wick razor of the lantern. The original lantern with the wick razor improvements is now on display at the Black History Museum. He received patent number 303-844 on August 19, 1884, in St. Louis, Missouri, for the invention of an improvement in wicker razors. Observations of an intern, African American invention highlight. Well, look at that. Castle Museum has our back. Okay. Observations of an intern, African American invention highlight. Observations of an intern in honor of Black History Month. Here is an African American invention highlight. But wait for it. The lantern has a long history of illumination throughout antiquity. Their first use can be dated all the way back to 230 BC in ancient China during the Han Dynasty. Come on now, guys. In the Middle Ages, watchmen would patrol the streets at night while carrying lanterns. They then became more utilized as a source of illumination and protection in the 1500s when lanterns were used to line the streets. For a long time, they acted not only as sources of light, but also as sources of hope. This proved to be true in many important historical events in our country's past. Paul Revere carried a lantern as he made his famous journey in Boston as a signal that the British were coming to attack. They acted as not only warning symbols, but as symbols of hope that the future of the country was about to change. One of the most notable uses of lanterns was by Harriet Tubman along the Underground Railroad. As she led slaves to freedom, Harriet carried a lantern to light their way. The journey to freedom was a dangerous one, and the lantern served as a symbol of hope that they would reach their end goal. The question now becomes, what role does the lantern play in the history of African American invention? Since lanterns have been used for centuries, it is impossible to pinpoint exactly who invented the very first one. However, we can note the inventors who have improved upon it. One inventor was Michael C. Harvey, also known as MC Harvey, MC Harney. Is that what it said on Wikipedia too? Okay, it said both on Wikipedia, Harney and Harvey. With an N. Thank you. Because I didn't catch it. All right, he was an African American inventor that sought to improve the lantern. On August 19th, 1884, he received patent number 303844 in St. Louis, Missouri for a lantern or lamp. His invention improved the wick razors that were within the oil lanterns. The wick would absorb the oil that was below it, and when the lantern was lit, the saturated wick would burn and give off light. Even though we cannot grant Harvey the title of the inventor of the lantern, we can credit him for improving on it. We have many lanterns in our collection that show the progression and change they underwent as improvements, like the one by Harvey or Harney. Below are pictures of two different lanterns from our collection. When you look at them, you can now think of Harvey or Harney and other African American inventors who worked to improve our daily lives through their inventions. All right, and this is the Castle Museum of Saginaw County. All right, let's check out this little museum. Not so little. Follow them on the socials. I am not shoving my screen. But at least I am live. Mm-hmm. All right, and this is in Michigan. So the last post that they have here is regarding an event that's going to be on February 19th in a week. Grab your popcorn and snacks and join us for our next midweek matinee on Wednesday, February 19th at 1 p.m. We'll be breaking new ground and learning about women of the Saginaw Valley and this Delta public media production. History books are often filled with accomplishments and successes of men, but women played an important role in making Saginaw what it is today. Free popcorn provided, but bring whatever else you'd like. Ooh, me gusta. All right, so there's that. And now we were going to look up how to write a riddle, or will we save that until the end? I'll save it to you. Let's read our book. Now, the book today is focused on the Lantern Festival. And by the way, if you didn't catch the story posted on the gram, there was a video of last year's concert shared, and I would like to just listen to a little bit of that. I really like the second song. I really, really, really like the second song. So we'll listen to the start and then we'll maybe jump ahead a little. This is Yusa from China. More specifically, Ling Huan Yusa, female, birthday is May 19th, lives in Chengdu, virtual artist born out of three-dimensional real person, and one of the most popular original virtual idols in China. So Ling Huan Yusa, female, birthday is May 19th, lives in Chengdu, virtual artist born out of a three-dimensional real person, and one of the most popular original virtual idols in China. This All right, I won't play anymore because of copyright and everything. But yeah, it's great. And on YouTube, they have a YouTube channel, and Ling Ron, Ling Ron, Yusa, I think. Ling Ron, Ling Ron, Yusa. Beautiful. Now for look. Slight overlooked detail. This book is not available for borrow. It's not. And I knew this. I knew this. I recognized this before, but I still put it in the list. So, right, that's right. We were going to take the inspiration from just what we have. Okay. So we have the cover of the book. The title is Celebrating the Lantern Festival, and it is quite lovely. It looks like a watercolor of the roofs with lanterns, paper lanterns, and things like that. We go over to the cover page. Yet again, it says Celebrating the Lantern Festival. And we have a young girl with a lantern on a stick. And then we have the same girl on the back cover, and it seems like she has a little toy rolly duck with her. Okay. So what can we do with that? The significance of ducks and the Chinese Lantern Festival. Now, I would like to acknowledge that I know this the style and the way in which I go about things can seem um, maybe careless or disrespectful. I think that the way that things are and the way that things are expected to be, it's not very appreciative of the time and intention put into developing those traditions. All right. So I understand that. I do. Okay. But along with that, I think that there's another sort of respect for the technology that is had and allowed when I go about doing things this way. Okay. So I like leaning into the serendipitous nature of teaching and just everything really. Um, we could say that that's a symptom of sorts. Okay. But I think it's okay. I think it's fine. And I do plan aspects to kind of get me to go along. And I assure you, I do have kind of a substructure that I don't necessarily present that allows me to kind of meet marks along the way. And I hope that that comes through where you can kind of see like with my presentations, I chunk it up, but there's still kind of like a progression that goes along. And then there's typically like a wrap up, every now and then I might go over a little bit, under a little bit, but I do pay attention to time and I do pay attention to relevance, but a little bit more flexible in the relevance there. So yeah, in no way intending to be disrespectful, even though I fully understand how it can be seen that way. Uh, yeah, and here we are. But where are we? We were looking up. I typed in Google into Google. We were looking up ducks and the Chinese Lantern Festival. So this is AI helping us out again. We'll see if we can find an article down below. So it says ducks are sometimes featured in Chinese festivals such as Mid-Autumn Festival and the Chinese Lantern Festival as food and as decorations. Peking duck is a symbol of unity and prosperity. Peking duck is often eaten during the Mid-Autumn Festival. Roast duck. Wasn't anticipating talking about food. Mid-Autumn. All right, decorations, yellow duck lanterns. Giant lanterns shaped like yellow ducks have been used to celebrate the Chinese Spring Festival in Qian, and that is the Lantern Festival. The lanterns were inspired by an art installation by Dutch artist Florentin Hoffman. Who's that guy? New tab. Paste. What? Lanterns were inspired by an art installation by Dutch artists. I was expecting the artist to be much older than it says here. It says he was born in 1977. All right. Maybe a new addition to the tradition. Relatively new. Let's see how do we pronounce his name. So this is him. Well, hope he says his name. This cannot be the same guy. Yeah, he said his name. Yay! He just said Florentin Hoffman. Florentin. All I heard was just like Florentin Hoffman. So there's a J in there. But... All right, so this is from UAP Urban Art Project's YouTube page. And interesting enough, the subtitles are in Chinese. Wow, what a cool job. And he brought, something special. It clearly made a really big impact, yeah? So, here we are, going back here, talking about the ducks. Well, so go to see the ducks. Go to see the duck sculptures in China any time of year, right? Even though he was just talking about the panda one. Pandas didn't come up as being listed for being special for the Lantern Festival, but they're just a huge Chinese symbol in general. So pandas and the Lantern Chinese Lantern Festival. A completely different origin story for the lantern festivals here, but it's fine. So Panda's going to see the sculptures. Interacting with the sculptures, right? Because the little girl clearly has a toy duck, and then there are the toy sculptures, and that's the travel. The study could be, you know, compare the two. I can figure out how far these sculptures are from each other. They're close. So, duck sculpture, the panda sculpture. And right would be to see if you can make your own sculpture or something to play with, your own animal type sculpture, as a toy for someone else, or just even as your own toy. Uh, yeah. So let's see how far apart these sculptures are. So they are, what was his first name? Something, wasn't it Hoffman? Florentin. Whew. All right. So that's the itinerary. Let's type it up. And then we'll work on the riddle. I think this came to mind earlier, but I'm not sure if I said it. All of the workshop itineraries are currently within the itinerary library. All right, I know I started this already. It's not available for rent. It's okay. Yeah, maybe it'll become available. I'll keep it. I'll still put the link there. The description says Little May learns the meaning of the Lantern Festival, a Chinese celebration that includes fireworks, sticky dumplings, and the lighting of lanterns. I'll read more about the festival before we do the riddles. But the title of this is Celebrating the Lantern Festival. So visit Flemington, Hoffman, Florentin. It has many of them. A giant octopus, a giant elephant, a giant panda. So there's Shenzhen. There's another one in Shenzhen. The kraken, the elephant, the selfie panda. That one's in Sichuan. And then yeah. So how far is Shenzhen from? Prob's not gonna do both. I mean, unless you're there for a long time, but you can most definitely spread out your itinerary over a very long period of time if you just so happen to be reading about Chinese sculpture, for example. All right. If you're studying Chinese sculpture, if you're studying Chinese artworks, So, yeah, but I'm not going to put both of them as in visit all of them. I'll probably suggest going to Shenzhen and then comparing the two that are there. Sad story that the pandas in Sichuan. Oh, am I remembering that correctly? Yeah. And that's the one that we watched the video about with all the hairs being unique and that people are encouraged to go up and interact with it. So, yeah. So I'll just say both. In Mhm. You're supposed to be comparing them. So how could we? Oh, we could just say compare your chosen Hoffman sculpture to another sculpture. With purchased or homemade Play-Doh, sculpt your own mini sculpture of an animal. Of a Chinese zodiac. Of an animal within the Chinese zodiac. Yeah, yeah. It's time for the riddle. We have about 10 minutes for the riddle. Riddles during the Chinese lantern Festival. During the Chinese, this is AI. During the Chinese Lantern Festival, traditional riddles are often written on the lanterns themselves, with people trying to guess the answers. Lantern riddles. All right, so now I'm at chinaculture.org. Huh. This is from 2010, though. And on this particular year, 2010, the Lantern Festival was on my birthday, February 28th. It's very interesting. All right, so lantern riddles are riddles that were written on the lanterns that are displayed during the Chinese Lantern Festival or Chinese Middle Autumn Festival and so on. The full name of lantern riddles are riddles written on lanterns. Chinese lantern riddles people in the festival must guess the answer from a word, a poem, or a phrase. Guessing the riddles are as hard as fighting with a tiger, so that lantern riddles have another name, lantern tigers. 3 essential features of lantern riddles. Unique formats. The lantern riddles consist of 3 parts: the riddles, the suggest, and the answer. Different meaning. There are many different meanings in a Chinese character. If you want to get the answer of lantern riddles, you must ponder deeply with the different meaning of the word in the riddles. Oh, that's like, okay, all right. I should probably study Chinese. This might be why I gravitated towards Chinese, because puns must be crazy fun. In Chinese. And they might have a little bit more of a welcome buns. The answer is not repeat. There is no repeat character between the riddles and the answer. Some example of lantern riddles. Okay. What's full of holes but still holds water? I don't know. A sponge. What building has the most stories? Library. Saw that answer. I couldn't unsee it. Which is faster, hot or cold? Cold. Hot's faster. You can catch a cold. When is your mind like a rumpled bed? When you can't get out of it? I don't know. When it's not made up. What is it that everybody does at the same time? Think. Grow older. All right, so those were ones in English, and then we have some in Chinese. Oh, okay, we have 5 minutes to come up with a riddle. About what, though? Random word generator. I know that they have this for categories. Random word generator. Generate random words. Go. Dedicate. 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 All right. What do you dedicate? All right. While I'm thinking about that, let's just read about We read about the Lantern Festival. We did. We read more about riddles. But essentially, it's supposed to be the end of the Chinese New Year celebrations. Uh, okay, so it's a process, right? The only thing that I can come up with dedicate is I'm not gonna do it. I'm just going with another one. Dedicate. Let's find another word. A new random word. And by the way, when I search stuff or when I search these different little tools and it's like, how do you know that thing exists? Because, well, I actually think I know this one exists because we tried to place categories one time and but we didn't have a categories box. But I think I usually find these things when I'm trying to come up with a lesson like last minute and I need something and I don't have it. So I'm like, oh, it exists. And a lot of times the stuff that I look for last minute does not exist. And don't have to do that as much anymore. All right, neutral. Hmm. Oh, okay. So we're going to play off of neutral, like new something. Okay. Ooh, so we could do like new in the past, or also like something that is not old. Okay. Who wins a fight? Who wins an argument? Who always wins a neutral argument? Who who always wins a neutral argument? And I'm going to say, all right, you have your answer to my riddle. Who always wins a neutral argument? The youngest participant. Oh, I seen the hour. I said neutral because new troll usually, yeah. Um, I wish I had a different one. I do. Let's see. Who always wins a neutral argument? The younger one. Does that make sense? You could also spin it and say, who's the most mature in a neutral argument? I don't know. The older one, because the other guy is a neutral. I don't know. I don't know. All right. So until next reach out, keep it love. Oh. I'm right. See you later.